All right, let's jump right back into it with one of the most talked about World Cup finals ever. Argentina versus France in 2022.
Oh, yeah, definitely one for the ages.
You know, looking at all this material you sent over, Wikipedia articles, match summaries, even that YouTube recap, it looks like you really want to break this one down, huh?
It was just an incredible match, you know? So much to unpack.
Absolutely. The drama, the goals, that penalty shootout, just wild. Let's try to unpack it all.
Sounds good.
Now, both of these teams had a lot riding on this final. They both had a lot of history coming into the game.
Yeah, for sure. Argentina, even though they had won 2 World Cups before, they'd faced some tough times in recent years.
Yeah, they hadn't won a World Cup since way back in 1986. And of course, they lost the final in 2014, which must have been tough.
Right. And on top of that, they lost 2 Copa America finals in a row in 2015 and 2016. A lot of pressure.
But then they went and won the Copa America in 2021. That must have been a huge boost for them, especially for Messi getting his first major international title.
Oh, definitely. It felt like that win really gave them momentum going into the World Cup. It felt like maybe, just maybe, this could be their year.
Right. And then there was France, the defending champions from 2018.
And they were aiming for something really special. Back-to-back World Cup wins. Only Italy and Brazil had done that before.
Yeah, so the stakes were incredibly high for them, too.
Absolutely. It would have been amazing to see them pull it off.
And, you know, to make things even more intense, this was the second World Cup in a row where Argentina and France faced off in the knockout stage.
Yeah, their 2018 match was just crazy. So many goals. France ended up winning 4-3.
Yeah, a real nail-biter.
Yeah.
Okay, before we get into the final itself, I got to ask you about something I found pretty interesting in the material you sent over. Did you know the official match ball had a special name and design?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the Al-Hilm.
Al-Hilm.
Yeah. It means the dream in Arabic.
The Dream. Wow. What a fitting name for this match.
Totally. It was the culmination of so much hard work, so much ambition for both these teams.
And what about the colors?
Oh, yeah. It was gold, maroon, and red, I think. Really striking. A nice touch.
Yeah, a nice nod to the host nation Qatar and to the World Cup trophy itself.
Absolutely.
All right, let's rewind a bit and talk about each team's journey to the final. Argentina's path was, well, it wasn't easy, was it?
No, not at all. They actually started off with a loss, a pretty shocking one, to Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia, I mean, what?
I know, right? Total upset. It sent shockwaves through the whole tournament. It wasn't just the loss itself, it was how they lost. They had a bunch of goals disallowed for offside. Just felt like everything was going against them.
Oh, man. I can't even imagine the pressure they must have been feeling after that opening game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, talk about starting off on the wrong foot. But gotta give them credit. They bounced back strong. They won their next 2 group matches against Mexico and Poland, both with a score of 2-0.
And those wins must have been crucial, not just for their position in the tournament, but for their confidence as well.
Definitely. They had to prove they could handle the pressure, and they did. Then, in the round of 16, they faced Australia, another tough match, but they pulled out a 2-1 win.
And then came the quarterfinal against the Netherlands, which was a real nail-biter.
And tell me about it. Went all the way to a penalty shootout after a 2-2 draw. That was a true test of nerves, but they kept their cool and came out on top.
Amazing.
And then they totally dominated Croatia in the semifinal, winning 3-0. It was a statement win for sure.
Setting the stage for that epic final rematch against France.
Exactly.
Now, what about France? How did they look on their way to the final?
Well, they had a very different start compared to Argentina. They crushed Australia 4-1 in their opening match. Then they beat Denmark 2-1, which was a pretty historic result.
Historic? How so?
Well, they became the first defending European champions to reach the knockout stage since 1994. Not a bad way to start their title defense.
Wow, that's impressive. So they were looking pretty unstoppable at that point.
They did stumble a bit, though. They lost 1-0 to Tunisia in their last group stage match. But despite that, they still finished at the top of their group.
All right, so they made it to the knockout rounds. What happened then?
Well, they beat Poland 3-1, then they had a really close match against England, winning 2-1, and finally, they secured their place in the final with a 2-0 win over Morocco.
So both teams had overcome their own challenges to reach the biggest stage in football. The scene was set for a truly epic showdown.
Totally. And you know what? The final definitely lived up to the hype. Argentina, they came out firing in the first half. Like, they were on a mission.
Oh, yeah.
They were playing with this incredible intensity and precision. It was almost like France didn't know what hit them.
It really seemed like Argentina was playing with a fire lit under them. Like they were determined to make up for past disappointments.
Exactly, and it showed. They were all over France in that first half.
And Messi, I mean, you knew he was going to be at the heart of everything, right?
Oh, yeah. Messi was magic, as always. He opened the scoring with a penalty in the 23rd minute after Di Maria got taken down in the box.
Man, that must have felt like a huge relief for Argentina getting that first goal.
You could see it in their faces, that weight lifted off their shoulders. They finally had the lead.
And then they got their second goal just 13 minutes later, right? What a beauty that goal was. A real team effort.
Yeah, it was textbook Argentina, I tell you. It started with this brilliant interception in midfield. Then they just sliced through the French defense with a series of quick, perfect passes. And then, boom, a beautiful cross to Di Maria, who finished it off with a perfect left-footed shot.
Just textbook, you said.
Textbook Argentina, I tell you. Tactical discipline and attacking flair all rolled into one. The momentum was all theirs.
It really felt like they had France on the ropes at that point. I mean, France hadn't even managed a single shot on goal in that first half.
Yeah, they were shell-shocked. It looked like Argentina was cruising to victory. You know, their fans were going wild. They were already celebrating. They thought this was it, their moment.
But, as I know, it's a game of two halves. And things changed pretty dramatically after the break, right?
Man, that second half. It was like a different game, almost like someone flipped a switch. Kylian Mbappé, he'd been pretty quiet in the first half, but then he just exploded onto the scene. He totally changed the game.
Yeah, Mbappé really came alive in that second half.
He brought this urgency to the French attack that had been totally missing before, and in less than 2 minutes, boom, boom, he scored 2 goals.
2 goals in like 90 seconds.
97 to be exact.
Oh.
First, a penalty, cool as ice, and then this absolutely stunning volley, just unstoppable. I mean, what can you do?
That must have been an incredible moment to witness. The energy in the stadium must have shifted completely.
Yeah, it was electric.
Okay.
Argentina, who had been so confident just minutes before, they were suddenly looking shaky. Their fans, who were already celebrating, went totally silent, stunned.
Talk about a momentum swing.
Mbappé just single-handedly brought France right back into the match.
And after those 2 quick goals, France started to play with a different energy.
Absolutely. They had their swagger back, like they finally believed they could win this thing. Then there was that moment late in the second half, that penalty shout for France. It was a really close call.
Yeah, I remember that. It looked like France might actually take the lead.
Yeah, but the ref called it a dive, Booked the player for simulation. It was a controversial call, for sure. A real turning point in the match.
Yeah, those are the kinds of moments that can decide a World Cup. And then, of course, the game went to extra time. The tension must have been unbelievable.
Oh, man, you could cut the tension with a knife. Both teams knew that one mistake could cost them everything.
And in the 108th minute, it looked like Argentina had finally sealed the deal. Messi scored what everyone thought was the winning goal.
Yeah, classic Messi, just fighting for every ball, refusing to give up. He managed to get the ball over the line after a wild scramble in front of the goal.
You gotta love Messi's determination. Never gives up. But then Mbappé.
Yeah, Mbappé.
Scored again.
Again.
To complete his hat trick. Just incredible.
He drew a penalty in the 118th minute, stepped up and slotted it home. Ice in his veins. He became only the second player in history to score a hat trick in a World Cup final. Talk about making history.
Wow, what a performance. And then, just when we thought it was all over, France almost won it at the very last second.
Oh, don't even remind me. Kolo Muani, he had that one-on-one with the keeper, a golden opportunity. It looked like a sure goal.
And it would have won the World Cup for France.
Right. But somehow, Emiliano Martinez, the Argentinian keeper, made this incredible save with his shin. Can you believe it? It was like something out of a movie, a last-second miracle.
It was unbelievable. That save sent the game to a penalty shootout. What a way to decide a World Cup final.
I mean, talk about a dramatic finish. Penalty shootouts, they're a total lottery, It's as much about nerves as it is about skill. And in this shootout, it was Emiliano Martinez, the Argentinian keeper, who became the hero.
Martinez was brilliant in that shootout. He saved 2 penalties, and you could tell he was really getting into the heads of the French players.
Oh, yeah, he was playing mind games for sure, delaying the kicks, arguing with the ref, even tossing the ball away at one point to make the French player go get it. It was controversial, for sure, but it worked.
Well, you know what they say, all's fair in love and penalty shootouts.
Oh, right. But yeah, Martinez's mind games were definitely a factor. He saved penalties from Kingsley Coman and Aurelien Tchouameni, which gave Argentina the edge. And then it all came down to Gonzalo Montiel, who stepped up to take Argentina's final penalty. He was the one who conceded the penalty that led to Mbappe's 3rd goal, so the pressure was really on him.
What a moment.
Talk about redemption. If he scored, Argentina were world champions.
So what happened?
And he buried it, sent the ball straight past Lloris, low and to the left. No chance.
Argentina, world champions. I mean, after 36 years of waiting, After all the heartbreak,
Right.
what a moment.
It was pure magic. That moment when the penalty hit the back of the net, it was like the whole world just stopped and celebrated with Argentina.
I bet. I mean, what a tournament, what a final. So many twists and turns, so much emotion.
Yeah.
And it all came down to that penalty shootout.
Yeah, it was a final for the ages, no doubt about it. I mean, you had two of the greatest players of all time, Messi and Mbappé, going head-to-head on the biggest stage imaginable.
And not just them, the whole game was just filled with incredible goals, drama, tension. It had everything.
It really did. And for Argentina, this victory, I think it meant so much more than just winning the World Cup. It was about national pride, about finally overcoming years of disappointment. It was a cathartic moment for the whole country.
Absolutely. And for Messi, I mean, talk about cementing your legacy as a legend. This was the one trophy he was missing, and he finally got
And
it.
then he deserved it, you know? He led by example the entire tournament, scoring crucial goals, inspiring his teammates. He really showed the world why he's considered one of the best to ever play the game.
He definitely did. But,
Yeah.
even though France lost, Mbappe's performance was unbelievable. That hat trick in a World Cup final, just incredible.
Yeah, he showed everyone that he's a force to be reckoned with. He's going to be a superstar for years to come.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about that. This final really showcased the mental strength of both teams, especially Argentina. I mean, after that loss to Saudi Arabia in their first match, they could have easily fallen apart, but they didn't.
They dug deep, they found a way to bounce back, to believe in themselves, and in the end, they overcame every obstacle to become world champions. That takes some serious mental fortitude.
For sure. And you got to talk about Martinez in that penalty shootout, those mind games.
Right.
I mean, some people called it unsportsmanlike, but man, were they effective.
Yeah, he was walking a fine line for sure. But it's a penalty shootout, anything goes right.
Yeah.
It sparked a big debate about sportsmanship, what's acceptable, what's not.
Yeah, it's an interesting debate. And it goes beyond just football. It's about the psychology of competition, the lengths people will go to win. But hey, in the end, Argentina won fair and square. No one can take that away from them. So, as we wrap up this deep dive into the 2022 World Cup final, what do you think will be the lasting legacy of this match?
That's a good question. I think it will be remembered as a match that went beyond just football. You know, it was a global spectacle, a story that captivated the world. It was a match that reminded us of the power of sport to bring people together, to create unforgettable memories.
It was a truly special game, a fitting end to an incredible tournament.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And for you listening out there, what are your memories of this incredible night? What did this final teach you about competition, about chasing your dreams, about the beautiful unpredictability of sport? Think about it.